without further ado, let's get to it. This week's theme is
Sell everything.
We are here at the Full-Time Families Rally in Tallahassee, Florida. As you can see behind us, we've got tons of rigs, and this is just the beginning of it. There's actually over 80 families here with their RVs, and so it goes like all the way out that way. We've got some this way, and the rally is just starting today. But we've been here for 3 days, and we've had a lot of fun meeting up with new people, meeting up with old friends. I say old friends, but they're just like
within the last
year,
6 months, friends.
6 months, yeah, that's right.
But they, people establish friendships really well in this lifestyle.
Yeah, the kids are having a blast, and so we're just so happy to be here. But today we wanted to come and do a Q&A video for you. We've told you a while back that we were going to do a Q&A video. We got lots of questions, more than we can answer in one Q&A video.
Yeah, because we told you weeks ago, almost a month ago, hey, we're going to do a Q&A video. And then a bunch of you chimed in and sent a bunch of questions, and we were oh, we looked at each other and we're like, how do you do a Q&A video? What do you do? We just didn't know. And
the more we got looking at the questions, we're like, well, that could take a little while. And so we're going to break it up into smaller segments, and we're going to have themes. And we're going to do a Q&A every Thursday, probably for a month. I'm thinking maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Might be good to break up all the questions. In the meantime, if you guys can do this for us, we're going to add a little segment to the end of our future Q&As where we allow you to ask questions to our children. And this is going to be kind of like a quick fire round.
Yeah.
So ask a question that our kids could answer quickly. And if you want to ask it specifically to one of the boys, to Camden or Bennett or Truman or Graham or Wrigley, just say it in the comments, and we'll do a little mini Q&A at the end of our Q&A that's just for the kids. I thought that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah.
And they'd love that.
So, without further ado, let's get to it. This week's theme is
Sell everything.
So we've had lots of questions from people about how we came to be on this journey.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest questions people are asking is about selling everything. And so the first question from you guys is, how did we know that God was calling us to jump into this lifestyle for ministry purposes?
Right. So. Well, that's a loaded question. That's a huge question. There's so much underneath that. It's like a 3-year long question for us. Because we had felt a stirring in our hearts and a pulling, years ago, and we didn't do anything with it. We just prayed about it a lot. And we had to come in unity with each other, praying about it a lot.
I was scared, honestly.
And we didn't know the full picture. It's like God reveals one thing, one step at a time. How do you know that it's God? Well, I think the bigger question under that is, how do you hear the voice of God too? You got to be in His Word. You've got to know the peace of God, and that doesn't happen in a day. I really believe it comes a lot from the relationship of knowing how to trust God by faith. So the first time that you take a leap of faith and see God come through is the first time the fear starts to disappear.
We talk about that a lot in this journey, actually. I think that God's given us many opportunities to share that with others, is like that overcoming fear. It's like a staircase. It's like once you make one step, you realize, oh, I can make another step, and I can make another step.
Yeah.
And I think, even more for me, that was a big thing to overcome. It was a big mountain with lots of steps, and I'm still going up it, but I'm taking those steps, and I'm realizing that it's like we say in our song, he'll catch us.
Yeah.
He's strong enough to catch us if we fall, and we need to have trust and faith in that.
You got to surround yourself with, we surrounded ourselves with life-giving people that we could trust, that would speak life into us, which is a big thing,
And people who aren't afraid to dream. That's something that we learned, was to distance ourselves a bit from those who are dream killers, because there are people that are so bound up in fear that they will just kind of put their fear on you.
Yeah, surround yourself with life-giving people and stop listening to the dream killers.
But we have a book that we'll recommend to you guys too about that subject.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And sometime we'll talk about our, how we dealt with the dream killers. One day we'll talk about that in a video, but we'll link the book down below.
Yeah, basically what we say to this, how did we know God called us to this? Well, God calls all of his people to live missionally and preach the gospel. In our way, we love to do this, and we kind of said we would much rather go out and preach the gospel with our family and be together as a family. And it kind of morphed into, the RV thing and family travel and just living life. Not just living an adventure, but living an adventure with purpose. That's so huge. And so that's a big part of our journey.
I think that God calls us all to sacrifice in order to follow him. That's what he said to the rich young ruler. He said, go sell everything and give it to the poor.
Right.
We literally sold everything and gave it away. So that leads me to our next question, which the question was, what did it look like to sell everything and sell your home and prepare for this journey? That's what somebody asked.
Right. Well, that was about a year-long process for us too. We did 2 big house sales. We sold tons of stuff on Craigslist and online. We gave things away. That was
most of it we did give away.
We gave a lot of it away.
Yeah.
And we were
first
grateful
sold
to
our
do that.
house.
We first sold our house. That was a big
biggest-
part of the story.
That was the biggest mountain for us, and we were actually very kind of nervous about that, because we've had.
Well, that's a different story.
That's a different
too,
story, but
that's a big story for us that we would love to share one day. That was a lot of fear for us to sell our house.
But it sold in 3 days. So, that was God once again showing us that he was calling us into this, and that we didn't have to fear, that we could trust him and he was strong enough.
We ended up looking on Todd Wilson's website for RVing. We'll link that below as well. But I wished we would have had some things that we want to tell you about that are available now. We wished we would have known about these, but the Full-Time Families Network Facebook group is a huge resource. I highly recommend you looking into that if you're interested in doing this and you're considering taking this kind of a leap. That was a big deal for us, but we didn't discover it until after the fact. The other thing too is I wished I would have known about Less Junk More Journey. Their YouTube channel is phenomenal for all these things. Yeah.
And another thing is, within your first few months on the road, you're going to want to make sure you get to one of these rallies. They're so helpful connecting you to people, and you don't really realize how similar the struggles in this lifestyle are until you get around other people and realize, hey, I'm not the only one, and it's not going to kill me. These little things that you come up against.
You don't have to be so
day.
afraid.
Yeah. And it's just so life-giving to come to this and get to know people. It really is. Kids have fun.
Yeah. We'll show that a little bit later this week.
Yeah.
All the clips and stuff from the Full-Time Families Rally.
So then, we got our rig, and then we sold everything that we could. We say sale, but it was actually we did a donations only. And part of that was so that we could share with people what we were doing, because people come in, they're like, well, how much is this? It doesn't have a price. Well, what would you like to give it to us for? Because we're, we're taking our family on the road, and we're just...
We had a $150 grill. We could have sold it for $150 easy, but we gave it away, and we gave it away for $10.
No,
and
it was $5.
Well,
it was $5. He was really mad
about that.
He was really mad at me about it.
But now, yes, I had to calm
He had
down.
to let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. But we don't miss any of that stuff.
No, not at all. And I
That's
can
the
take
great
that
thing
large
about
grill
this.
with us.
It was a fun time. I enjoyed the sale. I enjoyed seeing people like carry away loads of things for like $1.
That feeling
you know?
of letting it go, like actually watching people carry stuff of yours away, like in droves, like the furniture, the big things. Like I was like, wow, that's scary, but it's a weight lifted literally off of my back.
The last question is, what was it like to go from living in a house to living full-time in an RV? You know, what does it look like as far as your bills, shopping for groceries, and all that stuff? What kind of changes did we have to make?
I could say for Siobhán, like shopping for groceries is different because we would buy things at a month at a time in bulk and store them in our pantry.
And
we had our deep freezer. Yeah. You can't do that as much. Not for everybody.
Can't go out to the chicken coop and get fresh eggs
Can't go out
every
to the
morning.
chicken coop and get fresh eggs.
It's kind of learning the lifestyle. You know, when you're talking about finances and stuff, you can be as extravagant as your budget allows you to, or you can be as simple as your budget allows you to. It just depends on your family.
Yeah.
For our family, we live very simply. We research a lot on how to find places where we can stay for cheap or free.
Right.
You know, it all depends, but for our family, like we've said, our goal is to live simply so that others can simply live.
Yeah.
To live simply so that we can bring a message to people of simple living and living without fear.
Right.
And living free to be. And
Yeah.
so for us, it's being very aware of our budgets, you know, being willing to try something new.
And it just, you know, it's your lifestyle. You have to change some things. But
Yeah.
is that good? We got
That's
some good
good.
questions for you guys. And so yeah, give us any other questions you have. We're gonna come back to this next Thursday. Give us any questions for our boys, and give us a thumbs up if you like this, and subscribe if you are liking Trent and Siobhán and the content we're putting out. And remember, we can make the world better.
I believe we can.
Bye guys.